Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
We got people having nervous breakdowns over that whole thing. that election. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. All right. Hey, by the way, we're live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda. I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. Thank you for joining us, by the way, Joe. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. That was very nice. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Let me tell you something. I'm going to HR. You better believe I'm going to HR on this one.
Well,
HR, Joe.
For 8 years.
HR.
For 8 years, I've had perfect attendance.
Nah.
This is an embarrassment to me. I've never been late for a show ever.
Embarrassment.
But
say it.
Here's
say
the
it.
problem.
It's an embarrassment.
It's a ginormic embarrassment.
That's what it was. He was big time in us. He thinks he's better than you. He thinks his time is more valuable than my people's.
I mean, I was just, I'm so embarrassed. I thought today was Saturday because, I have tomorrow off. It's Veterans Day. I get messed up sometimes with these 3-day weekends. I mean, no excuse.
How do you get tomorrow for Veterans? It's Veterans Day in Boston. Everybody's off.
Well, you don't have tomorrow off?
No.
You don't
honor Veterans. I took it off.
You don't honor Veterans Day?
Apparently not in the Midwest.
No. Are you serious? You guys don't honor that?
Yeah, nothing's closed over here.
Oh, wow.
I don't even think banks are closed, to be honest with you.
Proud to be an American where I know that I am free.
Go look.
Now I can finally afford my groceries, and it's time to stand up next to you and remember for today, because I can't believe I love this land.
Right here.
God bless the USA.
Right here. Ringside Reporter gave Beeb the day off, but not Eric. That's messed up. Yeah. Trump regime. I'm just saying, All right, listen, guys, if you want to call 323-870-3857, let's get it started. B, we got to get it started with ESPN. Keyshawn Davis, a star is born, son, versus Gustavo Lamos. Keyshawn Davis bombed Lamos out in about 2 rounds. It was brutal, and you know what? Lamos had it coming. This guy showed up 6.4 pounds over the limit. When was the last time we seen something that bad? 6.4, 6.4. Why in the world would you come in like 6.4 overweight? Like, why? Why? What is the excuse? Even if, and I say this all the time, even if you're sick and you can't do cardio, you can still diet. You can still cut your calories back. And you're not really missing, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Here's the thing. When you're in that dilemma, you look at the situation from Keyshawn Davis' standpoint, right? And you look at it, you say, well, I believe that I'm a lot better than this guy in terms of skill and, in all departments, right? So you look at it this way, like this guy's 6 pounds over. Did he even train? Is he in shape? So when the skill gap is that great, you say to yourself, okay, this could possibly be an advantage to me. But when you got a guy where it's 50-50 fight, then you see that 6 pounds, that's when you have to stop being concerned, because that could be the difference in a fight.
Yeah. And especially at the, like I said, these lighter weight classes and stuff, that makes a big difference. If you're a heavyweight, not so much. But you're talking about 6.4 pounds, man, that's another division.
Yeah. But you see where I'm going with this. Like some people can look at it like, okay, this guy's got the size advantage. He's going to have some strength on me, whatever. Or you could also say this guy didn't train. He's probably not in shape. So it's that tightrope that you have to walk when you're put in those situations.
And like, I remember in that Mickey Ward fight, the Mickey Ward movie, you remember when the Mickey Ward movie came out and he said, man, that guy's huge. He said, I can't fight him. He said, well, if you don't fight him, you don't get paid.
Sure.
And he was like, I know, but like, look at the size of this guy.
Yeah.
because he came in heavy and everything like that. So yeah, if you don't fight him, you're not getting paid. And then you got trainers, you got which I think is nonsense. Because I think if you step on the scale and make that weight, you should get paid, regardless.
Absolutely.
And that's how they do it in the UFC. If you make weight and you get paid, and the other guy decides to not come in on weight, just, you know what I mean, whatever, it doesn't fight, that's not on you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's garbage that it is. Like, again, if he doesn't fight, he doesn't get paid. I think that's nonsense.
Yeah, that's true. Because you do your part.
You do your part.
Yeah.
You did your part.
It's all about the contract.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
If I was at a high level and I was, fighting for a title, or if I was a champion, whatever, and I would put that in my contract. Like, if this guy doesn't make weight, I gotta be paid a certain amount of money in terms of compensation for this guy's error.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that. 100%, man. Because that wasn't Johnson's fault. That wasn't anybody's fault. It was Lamos's fault.
Yeah.
And you know what? Whether he was in shape or not, he got steamrolled. I think it was just a difference in class here. I don't even think it was anything. You couldn't even tell if he was in shape or not because the fight only went 2 rounds.
And think about this, Eric. This was the same Lamos that some people thought beat Richard Hitchens. And Richard Hitchens is going to be fighting Liam Paro for the IBF 140-pound title. So this is a huge feather in his cap. Huge feather in his cap.
Steamrolled.
Yes, he did.
I mean, that last knockdown with the body shots and then an uppercut, I mean, it was like, you couldn't touch that dude.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that guy, Keyshawn Davis looked like the next guy. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he looked good.
Look good.
He does still get hit flush a little bit. I know he's from Norfolk. He's definitely not Pernell Whitaker, but he's exciting. He goes in there. He wants to finish you.
Yeah.
He looks for he looks to end that fight, and he's strong, and he can get you out of there. He's real technical.
He can hurt you with either hand.
Yes.
He knows how to place those shots perfectly, and he can knock you out to the body.
He's not a one-trick pony, man.
It's not a.
He doesn't have
a lot of weapons.
A lot of weapons, and he can beat you. He can beat you by decision too. It doesn't have to be just by brute force. He can beat you with skills as well. He's a dangerous guy, man.
That's true.
And this guy's coming out of the Olympics.
That's right.
I mean, listen, man, those guys, and I say this all the time about Olympic fighters, why it's so important if you're in the Olympics. That's not to say you can't win a title without being there. No. I'm just saying, when these guys come out, the amount of styles they've seen.
That's a great point, Eric.
It's like college. You know what I mean? It's like
point.
College for boxing. Yeah. You go in there, they see every type of style you will possibly run into.
That is so true.
Because they've had so many fights all across the world. They've been to all these events and everything like that. They know all these guys. They know their styles. They know everything about each other. And again, it's iron versus iron sharpening iron is what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
So when they get out, they can be at an accelerated pace, put it that way. Not too accelerated, but at an accelerated pace.
That's right.
I mean, and they're known. Everybody knew Sugar Ray Leonard coming out of the Olympics. You know what I mean? It's just they're known. Andre Ward, same way. It's just it's like invaluable. It's like I said, it's like getting a college degree or something like that if you're a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them pan out. No. And that's okay. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. A lot of them do, man. After the fight, Davis called out Tank Davis, which, you may not be ready for that kind of thing just yet, but
seems to be a bridge too far.
You're getting there. No question. I like the confidence. But realistically, it sounds like he's going to fight Dennis Baranchek next. So I guess for the WBO title or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll most likely be next. Bob Arum can put that together pretty quick, faster than he could put together the Tank Davis fight. Yeah. So now when you watch this, what were your thoughts on Keyshawn Davis here, man? Is he going to be the next guy? I mean, he seems to have everything underneath him.
The thing I like about him is he's just very confident, right? And it seems like as time goes on, he just raises his game, and he's welcoming the challenge.
Yeah.
And the tougher the challenge, the better he seems to be doing, right? So from that aspect, I mean, like you said, he gets hit a little bit, whatever, but he moves well. He's very strong, very athletic, very versatile. So I think he could be a problem to a lot of guys because he can punch. When you have the athleticism and you can box a bit and you can punch, right? That goes a long way. That goes a long way. So he's good from the outside, and he has a little bit of tenacity on the inside. He can grit it out when he wants to. So I think a guy like this who has the confidence doesn't really get reckless, but he gets aggressive. He's not afraid to take it to his opponents, and unlike some other guys, with all due respect. So if anything, I think the future, based off of what I've seen so far, does look bright. I have to admit that.
Yeah. Andres Chiani asks, is boxing officially going through a transition? Not yet. Not yet. It's very close though.
Sure.
Because, you look at the heavyweight division, that's getting ready to go through a transition. Yeah. Those guys don't have much left as far as fights left in them. You know what I mean? I don't believe Tyson Fury does, and I don't believe Usyk
they're all going to be gone
on the way out. Terrence Crawford doesn't have too much left in him. Tank Davis, again, he might have a lot left in him. But now, again, you have the younger generation starting to come up.
Now, I hate
it's not a transfer yet.
I hate to kind of throw salt in the wound and say I told you so, but the one guy that you did throw under the bus a couple of years ago, Daniel Dubois, this guy's in his prime. He's 27 years old, man. So this could be.
You mean the guy I gave tough love to? I said, hey.
You can't throw guys out. You can't throw guys in the trash.
You remember Teddy Ellis when he sat down on Michael Moore's chair and he said, "You want me to go fight?"
Yeah, but that was all.
That's what I was doing.
That was all theatrical, man.
That's what I was doing with Daniel Dubois.
Come on.
And I made him what he is today. You notice after what I said about him, sky's the limit now. Huh?
Oh God.
Just saying, it's motivation, Beeb. I know you're not used to it, but this is how it comes down. You know what I mean? You got to motivate people sometimes. And sometimes it's that tough love.
Do you think that he could be the guy when these other guys retire? Daniel Dubois?
Nope. No.
Just beat Joshua. Just knocked him up in emphatic fashion.
Joshua. I'm shocked that Joshua's still fighting, son. You know Deontay Wilder is going to fight again? That's what what's his face said. That's what what's his face said. I don't know.
Who's he going to fight?
I don't know. Malik Scott said he wasn't done, though.
He said, stop. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said in the interview, man. So now I don't know if that's true or not. Like I said, we haven't heard Wilder's story on it.
Hey, listen.
I'm just saying, man, that's not a good, that's not good.
He better be getting paid well then, because.
Yeah, I would hope, because he's going to get stomped out. And the same with Anthony Joshua, man. I mean, yeah, he's done, man. I really believe he's done. I don't think he's not coming back, and he's not going to beat He's not going to beat Dubois. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
There it is, right there. Lord of the motivational speaker.
Yeah, he got beat pretty bad.
Yeah, and I'm shocked that he's actually coming back. And he exercised that rematch clause, so he's going to fight him again.
Well, they're saying that it's probably not going to be next. They're talking about maybe Joseph Parker.
That's right. Well, I thought I had heard that Anthony Joshua was going to wait for the Tyson Fury thing to go down, the Usyk and Fury fight.
So he's going to just jump the line and fight. Well, I'm going to be honest with you.
I guess.
I think Fury is going to win in emphatic fashion, but they're probably saying to themselves, win, lose, or draw, we want that Fury fight.
Fashion.
You love it. You love when I pull out the thesaurus.
The thesaurus of knowledge, the volcanic knowledge of Beeb just erupting all over the show. There you go.
Right. You love it.
Yeah, I think because that fight is still big, I guess. I guess in England it's still big.
Yeah, that's always going to be a big fight, I think.
Yeah, it was just like Kell Brook and what's his name, Amir
Khan. Yeah,
they waited all that time for that fight, and that was horrible. I mean, it was like they were just shells,
That did pretty good, didn't it?
I imagine it did, but it wasn't that great of a fight. I mean,
it was very one-sided.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah, just like we all expected it would be. And I'm like, I don't know why, why would anybody want to watch that? I don't know.
Yeah, it was very one-sided.
Let's talk about Abdullah Mason on the undercard here versus Johan Vasquez. These two went at it for 2 rounds, man, trading knockdowns and everything, man. If you haven't seen this fight, go watch it. You won't be disappointed. Mason, of course, wins in round 2, TKO. He was hurt in this fight. He was buzzed. He was buzzed
Maestro,
a couple of times in this fight.
Maestro called me right after round 1, before round 2 even started, and he goes, "Abdullah Mason, this guy's done. I can't believe it. He's gonna get fit. I can't believe he's gonna get stopped. Can't believe he's losing."
Like I looked at it, man. That guy had him in trouble a couple of times in that first round, and man, that hook that Abdullah Mason hit him with, he came in. That's when you're most. What do they say, Beeb? When you're hurt, that's when you're most dangerous, man. And that was true, man, because he caught him with that hook. That guy went out, boy.
The fight or flight, but that fight kicked in, didn't it?
That was a good one. Yeah, exactly. That fight kicked in, boy. He had to get some dog in him, and yeah, that was good. I'm telling you, man, if you guys haven't seen that, go Google it or something like that. You got to see it. You got to watch it. It should be on ESPN too, like ESPN.
It'll be on ESPN, but they put it on the YouTube a lot too. Like the good thing about a lot of the top ranked fights is they put them on YouTube.
I don't understand like why. Sometimes it's hard to find those fights, like if they just happened on ESPN on the app or whatever. Sometimes they're hard to fight. They're not like
that's one thing. That's one thing I give the Zone credit for is like they do that. You can navigate and get to the fights, the archive fights, pretty easily. Sometimes Robbie will call me and complain like, "Oh, you can't. Steve, where's this? Where's that?" And I have to kind of like direct him.
You got to talk him down off the ledge and direct him. I gotcha. Pocket said round of the year so far. I agree. I agree. That first round was pretty good, man. That was
a good round. That
was good. All right, let's switch over to the Zone here. Jaron Boots Ennis versus Karen Chukhadzhian. Boots Ennis wins a lackluster unanimous decision over Chukhadzhian, 119-107, 117-109, and 116-110. Boots knocked him down in the 5th, but was unable to finish Chukhadzhian. Don't get me wrong, man. Boots dominated this fight, but this was a rematch. Like, we didn't need to see this. I mean, there were no unanswered questions in the first fight that we needed a second fight for.
Can I tell you though? I had this fight quite competitive.
He did pretty well. Listen, Chukhadzhian did good.
I legitimately had this fight even in rounds. And if you go to the BoxRec average fan scorecard, they scored at 114 and 112 like me for Boots.
Yeah,
because if they didn't take it was the 9th round. I think the ref took a point away for holding,
and then the 5th round he got knocked down.
So if he didn't take that point away, Boots would have won by like a point on my card. I thought Chukhadzhian did.
And I didn't score it, so I didn't.
I thought Chukhadzhian did pretty good in this fight, and I think he surprised Boots a little bit because he came to him a little bit, and he did pretty good in the inside. He was throwing like short hooks, short uppercuts. He had a good jab, and Boots was throwing like one shot at a time, and he was getting horrible advice from his corner. Yeah, just go out there and finish him. Go out there and finish him. So whenever you're over aggressive like that, and you're just throwing one shot at a time, and Boots has a tendency sometimes where he gets too aggressive and he kind of overshoots the target a little bit, overextends with the shot, and when you do that, obviously, you give your opponent some openings, but it takes that much more time for you to recoil that punch and bring it back. So if you're leaving that punch out there, you're giving opportunities to your opponent, and that's what happened. And another thing too is Chukhadzhian wasn't standing right in front of him; he was like turning, and that was kind of frustrating Boots a little bit. And when that happens, when your opponent pivots, you got to pivot with him, so you're always facing him. You don't let him out of your sight, out of your range. And Boots kind of abandoned the jab a lot in this fight too. He wasn't using the jab. He really wasn't being overly creative with the offense here. And I say this all the time. I'm sure all these guys train hard for fights, but psychologically, when you are in there with someone that you don't think is a huge threat, or you don't see him as having a lot of weapons that can be troublesome to you, psychologically, it's hard to get up for these guys. And I'm sure Boots can do better than this. And this could have been a case of that. But as I said before, immediately after the fight, he said, maybe I should go back up to I should go up to 154. And I've been saying that probably for at least a year now that he has no business at 147. This guy's blowing up like about 170 pounds in between fights. Don't make the same mistake Errol Spence made and stay at a weight too long and have it, come back to bite you in the end. You don't want that to happen. You're a young guy. You shouldn't be taxing your body like that.
And how motivated I just in terms of motivation, it's got to be hard to get up for this fight.
And you didn't want this. This was a rematch that you won in one-sided fashion.
Right. Why?
And you thought it was going to be like that again, but this guy didn't get the memo. He came to fight.
And I got to go back to the motivation thing. Like, again, it's a fight you didn't want. But again, you have to. This is what a champion's about.
It's exactly what a champion's about.
You have to. Doesn't matter who's in front of you.
Take Bam Rodriguez, for instance. We're going to talk about that next.
Oh,
this
wow.
is the guy that fights every fight like it's
his last.
Like it's his last, like this, everything on the line.
Yeah.
Leave no stone unturned. This guy doesn't care.
And he did exactly. And let's Boots Ennis, the next fight they're talking about, Eddie Hearn actually stated after the fight he wants Boots versus Virgil Ortiz next. And that apparently there's going to have like a 5-on-5, like a Hearn versus Golden Boy type thing.
That's great.
I like those. And that'll be part of the, I imagine that'll be part of the Riyadh season or whatever. But you got, 5 of Golden Boy, 5 against Hearn. And that was one of the fights that they want to put on there. And I love that fight, by the way.
I do too.
And that's the fight Boots needs.
And a lot of people are saying, Boots is going to destroy him. I'm not 100% sure about that.
I don't know that.
I thought that Virgil did really good in his last fight against Bohachuk. I thought that was a very competitive fight that could have gone either way. And Bohachuk is no joke either. So
yeah,
Virgil did well in the fight, coming off the layoff, coming off the issues with his health. Got to give him credit, man. I wasn't 100% sure that he would be able to fight in the way he did, but he sure as hell did.
Yeah, he looked good. I thought he looked good. But I thought, like I said, it wasn't a great fight for me as I'm watching it. But I think he did what he had to do. I wouldn't have. I don't know that I would have scored it a draw, but I didn't score it, so I can't really say.
Well, he actually won the fight. He edged it out, but
no, I know. But I'm talking about in rounds or whatever. I don't know that I would have done.
You talking about the Boots fight?
Yeah. Okay. And again, like I said, man, like I said, I didn't score it, so I really have no say in it. But yeah, I thought it was good. But I don't want to see that fight again, obviously. And I don't know.
I can assure you of one thing: you probably won't see a third fight. So
that was awful. Like again, man, like it wasn't even like something. Again, after the first fight, what unanswered questions did you have? Why did you put that guy back in there? That makes no sense to me.
This is why I can't stand the IBF. They have
right.
The most meaningless. They order the most with respect to Chukhadzhian. You got a nice payday. I don't want to shit on your parade, but here's the thing, man. The IBF orders the most insignificant, mandatory challenge.
Oh
fight.
Yeah,
100%. It's just outrageous. The mandatories that this organization orders, it's just ridiculous.
Let's see here. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who should have been the headliner. He really should have been the headliner there, to be honest with you. That guy doesn't play around, man. Jesse Bam Rodriguez wins via 3rd round TKO over Pedro Guevara. The fight was all Bam. I want to start to see Bam in some big fights, honestly, because he deserves it. And I know he's had some names on his record, but I want to see him in some big fights. Like I said, man, that guy, he comes to fight every time. And he is so textbook when he fights. If you watch him, he does basics real well. He does everything real well.
Patient guy, places his shots well. And
he doesn't take anything for granted, man. He doesn't take.
Going back.
Go ahead.
Sorry, excuse me. Going back to what I said about Ennis, not when Chukhadzhian was pivoting. Bam is that guy that you try to move on him and he either beats you to the spot or he's constantly pivoting and turning with you. He doesn't let you escape his sight. So when you're in the ring with this guy, thinking you're out of range, thinking you can move away, this guy is on you. He's right there. You're never safe no matter where you go in that ring with Bam. He's going to get to you because a lot of it is just having good ring sense and good anticipation and just really good instincts and intelligence in there. So this guy is very, very hard to get away from in there.
And let me see here. How far are he and Inoue apart?
Oh my God, you read my mind. You read my mind. Now you want to talk about dream fights. That's a dream fight. And I wish Inoue didn't go up to 122 and stayed at 118 a little bit longer, and then have to give Bam enough time to catch up to him at 118. Because Bam could definitely fight at 118. Bam can definitely fight at 118 because he's kind of small. I don't know if he can fight at 122.
That fight's gonna happen. That fight's gonna happen. I'm telling you, man.
Bam's young too. Bam still got some man strength.
Bam's under Matchroom, right? Matchroom.
Yeah.
And Riyadh season coming back up.
Yeah.
That fight's gonna happen. And Inoue just signed with Riyadh season, like to be a promoter or whatever.
Yeah, he signed like some type of endorsement deal or something.
Yeah,
like
a sponsorship deal. Yeah. That fight's gonna happen. He's gonna put money out. That fight's happening. I'm telling you, that fight is gonna happen. If not next year, soon after.
That'd be a great fight, man.
Right? And I think he's ready right now. I think Bam could go right now.
Yeah.
Inoue is good, but man, Bam is really good too.
Yeah.
And Inoue's proven, and I know to me, Bam is already proven.
That fight would have been great at 118. 122. I mean, I'm not saying he can't go to 122. He is kind of small, Bam, but we'll see what happens. He's a young kid. Maybe he'll grow into it. Who knows?
Inoue's not that big either, to be honest.
Oh, he's not that big either. And what can kind of level it off is maybe if this fight happens like maybe say 2 years from now, and Inoue just stays at 122, and over time, Bam can grow into that 122 possibly because he's still young. He's like, what is he, like 24 years old, 23 years old?
Yeah.
So he can still grow into that weight. It's not impossible. Right now, if he just went from 115 to 122, it's different, but
yeah,
we'll see, man.
Yeah, 115 to 122 is a lot different than
a big jump.
118 to 4 pounds, because again, man, those weight classes are no joke, especially that light. Yeah, and they got him spread out just a couple of pounds, man. It's a big deal.
And I don't hate that fight, Bam versus Nakatani at 118 either.
I don't either.
I don't hate that fight either, man.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, man, it's that's a fight, man. I really hope that comes out, and I think Bam can go up. I think he's got a cap on how far he can go up because of the size.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, man, it's an intriguing fight. Anybody's going to have trouble against a good boxer, against a solid boxer puncher. That's right, boxer puncher, because he can fight, and he can put you away. Anybody's going to have trouble with that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody. But I tell you what, man, he's a good boxer. He's a good puncher. That's a fight. That is a fight, man. All right, before we go any further, let's bring Robert here. Let's bring Robert on the line here. Robert, 530, you're live.
Hey, good evening, guys. How are you?
How's it going?
How you doing, Robbie?
And I'm very happy about the election results.
Shut up.
We're in good hands now.
Shut the fuck up. Will you?
Anyway, on the boxing.
In case you were wondering, I'm not real thrilled about it, but it's all good.
I know. I don't think there's anything left for Bam Rodriguez at 115. They're talking about him and Chukhadzhian. Look, I love Chukhadzhian. He's a great all-time fighter, but at this stage of Chukhadzhian's career, that would be a mismatch.
I don't see a point in that fight. Yeah, and you know what? Eddie Hearn was pushing that fight yesterday. He was pushing that fight, and I don't see it, man. I really don't. Why? Like, why? What is the point of that fight?
Well, because his thinking is to beat the other three guys. So you got to put number 4 on the record, and I can see that. But at this stage, no, because Roman moved up to 118 and was fighting up there. I don't know if Jesse would go up to 118 to fight him, or he'd come back down to 115. I don't think there's anything left for him at 115 pounds. I would like to see him go fight Nakatani at 118.
Yeah.
And then work his way to eventually get the monster in the ring.
That's the move.
If you can convince Inoue to stay at 122, Top Rank's talking about him moving up to 126. I don't want to see that until you fight Bam.
That's a big stretch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how Inoue does at 126 because I always thought that 122 was probably the cap for him, but we'll see what happens. See what happens. He punches hard.
How tall is he? How tall is anyway?
He's like 5'5". Anyway,
Same size as Pacquiao?
Yeah,
yeah,
like
an
4,
inch,
5'5",
like an inch
something
taller,
like that.
inch shorter. I mean, yeah,
Huh.
yeah, he's like an inch shorter than Pacquiao. So, but he's kind of thin though, Eric. He's not like Pacquiao had big legs and stuff. Like he was.
Pacquiao had huge legs. Yeah.
Yeah, he was thick a little bit. Pacquiao, and he had a decent sized frame. Like wide shoulders for his height. Like Pacquiao, even though he wasn't tall, he's kind of thick. You know what I mean? Pause.
And as far as boots,
Hey, look,
nothing
man,
left for
whatever.
him.
You know, I mean, hey, this guy
As far
Pacquiao's
as
thick.
boots,
That's on you.
there's
All
nothing
right.
left for him. There's nothing left for him at 147
Nothing wrong
pounds.
with that.
He needs to go up to 154 and fight Ortiz and those guys.
That's right. I think there's nothing for him at 147. You're killing yourself to make 147, and there's not a ton of names down there for you. You can make so much more money at 154. The names are up there for you.
Ortiz is at 154 now, isn't he? Or is
correct?
He?
Yeah, correct.
That's what I thought.
That's
Everybody's
correct.
at 154. Yeah. So
Yeah, all the good competition for boots is at 154 pounds. And the only reason why he took this stupid fight last night was because of the IBF stupidity. This guy lost to him, a year and a half ago? He goes on and wins 3 suspect fights and automatically gets ranked in the number
You mean
1
3
spot.
suspect fights? They were like trying to suggest that they were rigged or something. What do you mean suspect fights?
No, I'm not. Come on. This guy was non-competitive the first time they fought.
All right,
103 to 108
choose your
on
words
all cards.
wisely here. We don't want any defamation suits here.
He did not deserve a rematch. Give me a break.
Yeah, we don't want any lawsuits here for you like saying that fights were fixed or something. We don't want to deal with that.
No,
Suspect fights. Please.
If you look at his record, you probably never heard of any of those 3 guys.
No, but when you say suspect fights, it's almost like you're implying that they were fixed.
No, they're not fixed. They're just not. I don't know how in the world.
Right, just make sure you clarify that.
One
We don't want any defamation
back
suits
after
here.
you get destroyed.
Please.
And I don't know how you get your number 1 ranking back after you get destroyed the first time around. And you go out and you win 3 fights, and then you get your ranking.
Right, now
back
you're implying that he bribed the IBF for his rating. What are you doing? Like, you don't even know this guy, and your character assassinating him.
Hey, we need to talk to Daryl.
What did he do? Bribe the IBF to
all.
get the ranking?
we need to talk to who, Robert?
Give me a break. Daryl Peoples, he's the president of the IBF.
Why don't you write him a letter, Robbie, since you have so much stroke? Pause.
The organization is in New Jersey. I'm sure they're easy to get a hold of. You know?
All right, Robert, we're going to keep you on hold here.
I get lost.
Oh,
Okay,
stop it. What's the
Later,
matter
Robbie.
with you?
Take care, man. Fuck out of here.
You're so wrong, man. 404 Atlanta, Georgia, DeKalb County. You're live, 404.
What's going on? This Coach Eddie. What's going on, man?
Coach
what's
Eddie.
happening? How you been, brother?
Hey, man. Good weekend of boxing. A lot to unpack. You know, listening at the show, you got always bringing the facts and the knowledge. Bam, as usual, you know, doesn't disappoint. Goes out there and does his thing in tremendous fashion. I didn't think he was going to get rid of that guy that easily, to be honest. Knew he was going to win,
either.
but he just made short work of him. Short work. Abdullah Mason, he needs to tighten up. And I wish
Agreed.
these young fighters, you know, y'all guys been around boxing just as long as I have, if not longer. And we all in the 70s, baby. I'm probably guessing right. Y'all remember Muhammad Ali got a lot of boxers in trouble because they were trying to emulate that style.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. A lot of these boxers are getting in trouble because they're trying to emulate Floyd Mayweather. That's why a lot of these guys get knocked out. Trying to stay there in their shoulder roll and trying to dodge bullets. And that's basically what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and you see what happened.
You have any idea how long it takes to learn that shoulder roll to be like James Toney or like Floyd Mayweather or like Roy Jones. And you can't even be Roy Jones with it because you're not that athletically gifted. Most people aren't. 99% of the population isn't. You know, it takes a long time. You have to be doing that from the ground up. You know, you can't just walk in and try it. It doesn't work, man. You have to know what you're doing. And a lot of these guys don't. And they want to use it so they don't get hit. But you're going to get hit because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at James Toney. You can obviously see he got hit doing it because it affected him.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
James really resorted to that because he got fat.
Yep.
James stopped wanting to train.
That's what it is. He's right. 100%.
You know, I mean,
sorry, James.
When James was a middleweight, he was fluid. He could move around.
Yeah.
He started packing on the pounds and he got stationary. Same thing with Floyd. Floyd didn't just rely on the shoulder roll. He used his legs. He more went to the shoulder roll when he got a little bit older. Mm-hmm. But he was a seasoned veteran, and it almost cost him too against Shane Mosley. So a lot of these guys are coming out. Adrian Bronner, shoulder roll, got him messed up. Mm-hmm. Andre Berto, shoulder roll, got him messed up. Montana Love, shoulder roll, got him messed up. Jaron Ennis, shoulder roll, got him messed up this weekend. Abdullah Mason, shoulder roll. All these shoulder rolls, stand there with the feet nailed to the ground, thinking you're gonna be able to dodge bullets. They need to throw that mess in the trash can. One thing is true: a moving target is hard to hit. Use your legs. Mm-hmm. Do the Sugar Ray Leonard. That was my gab up on the toes, moving around, popping the jab instead of just standing there thinking you're gonna be able to dodge bullets. And all it takes is just a slip the wrong way, just by like a fraction, and you're on the canvas. I mean, you're literally tempting fate. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember Thomas Hearns?
It's a reflex. It's a reflex style.
You guys remember Thomas Hearns? Right, exactly. It's a reflex style. And you remember that Kronk, everybody used to have that Kronk style back then. But Thomas Hearns would keep his right hand up by his chin and his left hand down by his body, jab from his hip. Every knockout that he got was because he got hit with a right hand. Every one of them. Go watch them.
Right.
Everyone.
And I remember a lot of people maybe didn't like Antonio Tarver, but he had his trainer was Jimmy Williams. And Jimmy would always say in the corner, he would tell Tony, dress down in defense. Make sure you stay dressed down in defense. You got two hands. Why not use them?
Yeah.
Keep them up. Why sit there and try to tempt fate, thinking you're going to be able to dodge everything. And let's say eventually it's just a matter of time. Eventually you're going to get clipped. Even the great Roy Jones, with his reflexes were, all it took for him just to misjudge or miscalculate, and there it is. That changed his whole career. And Antonio Tarver knocked him out. He was never the same after that. And these guys are tempting fate, trying to be cute, trying to be fancy. Get the rappers out of your locker room, make them go sit in the stands because you're going to war.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the mindset. These coaches, get this dude out of my locker room. As a coach, you got to take control of the fighters. You got to take control of the locker room. I don't need this guy in here. All Sherrod, y'all go in the stand. Y'all go talk to him after the fight. Mm-hmm. Right now, we got to go take care of business. And a lot of guys, they're calling their own shots. They're taking control of the coaches instead of the coaches taking control of the fighter. Because at the end of the day, if he loses, who they gonna blame? The trainer. Oh man, you didn't have him right. You didn't train him right. They already blaming Mosey Ennis for Booth's performance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he just kept saying, "Oh, go out there and knock him out. Go out there and knock him out."
That's what I said, yeah.
You ain't gonna knock out everybody.
You need some instruction. You can't just tell somebody to go and knock him out. Tell me how. Tell him how. Give him one or two instructions on how to get that. You know what I mean?
It's like someone's trying to lose weight, man.
I agree with you.
Just don't eat.
Just eat less. You got to give them a diet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or be smart enough to say, look, man, don't worry about the knockout. The guy ain't going nowhere. Boxing. Because you can't knock out everybody. You know, how many times have you ever heard that? Hey man, this guy ain't going nowhere. Boxing.
You don't hear it a lot anymore. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. Look, win now, look good later.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. A lot of these guys, man, they need some more older school guys in there that really know the game. Some of these guys, it baffles me. I don't know if you guys got anybody else. I'm not trying to hold your line up or whatever, but I just wanted to chime in on what I seen this weekend. And I think the double-edged sword is Boot. One thing about him, I believe if the guy was hurting him, he wouldn't have fought that way. First of all, I know that from experience because you in there with a guy that can punch, you're not gonna keep sticking your head in the lion's mouth.
Yeah.
So obviously he felt comfortable enough to take those risks. Well, he knew he was getting hit, but he's like, hey, I feel like I can take it. Because you know if you ever box, you've been hit by a guy, you're like, hey, I can't take too many of them. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be the first one to know you can't take too many of them.
Sure,
So you're gonna change the way you fight. So nothing in that fight told me that Boots couldn't take what he was getting. So I think he was more. His dad was giving him these reckless instructions: go out there and get the knockout. And a lot of times you go out there and try to knock a guy out, you wind up running into a lot of punches yourself. And I believe that's what happened. He was just pressing for the knockout, but he just basically just abandoned his defense, just trying to please the fans. That's pretty much all it was. He was trying to showboat, put his hands down, trying to look sick, trying to please the fans. I think he was a little bit embarrassed when he couldn't hit more than usual.
Absolutely, he was embarrassed.
Like he wanted to.
Getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All that wrapped into one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah,
hey, real quick, Coach.
It's a whole bunch of factors in.
Coach, real quick before we get you out of here. Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. How does that fight go down?
To me, I would still, to be honest, I would favor Boots in that fight. And I'm gonna tell you why. Both guys, it would be a good fight. I think both guys have shown that they're willing to get hit and not afraid to get hit. Both of them have shown a pretty sturdy beard, to be honest, to be fair. I think this fight right here is probably a good reality check for Boots. That hey, sometimes it could be a blessing in disguise. Say, hey, look, man, we need to tighten up on a few things before we move forward. Maybe we're not as good as we thought we were, or maybe we need to be focused or stop reading our own press clippings or stop drinking our own Kool-Aid. Let's come back down to earth for a minute. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if that was Ted Crawford last night, Boots would have been out.
Oh yeah,
Ted Crawford would have got rid of him.
No questions.
No
question. Yeah,
no question.
I get it.
Ted Crawford is a harder puncher. Ted Crawford is a harder puncher than Boots. People not
for
gonna
sure
believe that. Ted Crawford is a harder puncher than Boots.
Yeah.
So he tried to come down to earth, stop drinking no Kool-Aid. To me, like I say, to me it's more like a 60-40 fight. I would favor Jaron in that fight. But like I say, Virgil's a tough customer. Got a good punch. He's willing to fight. So I think that fight it would be hard because I know both of those guys are real macho type of guys.
Yeah.
And I know Boots seems like the guy, if you hit him, he wants to hit you. And Virgil's the same way. You hit me, I want to hit you. So I see a real slugfest possibly breaking out if they were to actually fight.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Coach. We're going to let you go here. Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, let's go to the fights here. Let's go to the upcoming fight schedule. Not a whole lot this weekend. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, there's a couple big cards. All right, so let's see what we got here. Arlington, Texas on Friday, Beeb, on Netflix.
I'm still trying to figure out if this is going to really be an exhibition or if these dudes are going to go at it for real. I don't know, man. If they go at it for real, I'm nervous for Tyson.
I am too. I am too. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, 8 rounds heavyweights. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano in the co-main, 10 rounds for Taylor's undisputed welterweight title. Niraj, I don't know who these guys are. Mario Barrios versus Abel Ramos for Barrios' WBC welterweight title.
Really good fight.
Let's see here. There's another chick fight on here. Bruce Shoo Carrington back in action against Dana Coolwell, 8 rounds featherweights. That should be a walk for Carrington. And we'll talk about this fight in a minute. November 16th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on DAZN. This is a Golden Boy card, I believe, with Gilberto Ramirez versus Chris Billum Smith.
Like that fight.
Ramirez's WBA cruiserweight title and Billum Smith WBO cruiserweight title. Jose Ramirez versus Arnold Barboza, junior welterweights, 12 rounds. Oscar Collazo versus knockout CP Freshmart for Collazo's WBO strawweight title. I'm in Freshmart's WBA strawweight title. that is not his real name. Just so you guys, Knockout CP Freshmart is definitely not his real name. But apparently, this is big in like lighter weights, like Philippine lighter weights or something like that. And I'm not sure where he's from, but it's not uncommon for him to just adapt a sponsor and just that's his new name. That happens all the time.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah. Oscar Duarte versus Kenneth Sims, 12 rounds junior welterweights, and William Cepeda versus Tevin Farmer, 12 rounds lightweights. So not a bad card in Riyadh on DAZN. So not a bad card at all. Not a bad Golden Boy. And that should be free on DAZN, or I mean, you pay for DAZN anyway. So I'm just saying. Let's see here. So let's talk about this Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, B. So if this is a real fight, this is 2-minute rounds. I guess it counts. They're going to count it. You know, it's going to be a fight that counts toward records. 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds. Does Mike, I mean, you're looking at 16 minutes, but he's 50-some years old.
Yeah, he's old, man.
That's an old dude. I mean, and like in boxing, you know, if this was like cycling, or if this was something else, maybe I'd be like, you know, because he's not getting hit. But again, man, I'll go back to it, man. You and I are in our 50s, and you wake up just like I wake up, and like something will hurt, like your back is tweaked or something stupid happens.
Every day.
Can't keep up the same way you kept up in your 20s. It just doesn't work.
Right.
You know, and mentally, I know he's there mentally, as far as like, you know, I know he feels good, and he, you know, but listen, man, you know, you feel great and you don't feel 50, but you are. That's a fact. Yeah, I think that Tyson, if he doesn't knock him out in the first 2 rounds, this fight's over, man. I don't think that he gets past Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul might even carry him, to be honest with you. It wouldn't shock me to see him not want to put him out of there. Yeah, Fight Doctor just said Tyson's 58. That's too old, man. You're not.
Tyson's only 3 years older than me, for Christ's sakes. Isn't that crazy?
You look younger than Tyson, by the way. So it's, you know, I mean, but I will say, man, I don't want to see the fight. I don't want to see it. You know, I didn't want to see it the first time before it was rescheduled. Just the more I talk about it, the more I look at it, I don't give him a whole lot of chance. I hope he wins. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see him. I'll absolutely be rooting for him. I'd love to see 85 Mike Tyson come out there, you know, and just roll over. But that Mike Tyson's gone forever, man.
I know.
You know. So yeah, it's I'm kind of, you know, like I said, I don't want to see, you know, I don't know why he's doing it. I really don't, because I would think he has money. I mean, he does those, doesn't he have like a big weed farm or something like that? He's doing.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He does a
lot with the cannabis stuff and everything. I kind of think that
he's involved in a couple businesses. He bounced back. He's worth like about maybe 10, 15 million now, I guess.
Yeah.
He was in a hole, man. He bounced back.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, that little, that Broadway thing he did was great.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good.
A podcast now is Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. So this guy, you know, he's got a lot of stuff.
His little podcast, you know, it's making money. I'm sure he's making quite a bit of money, you know, because he draws in some pretty big guys too, you know.
Crazy.
So, yeah, man. Gilberto Ramirez, Chris Billum Smith. I think Chris Billum Smith is winning that fight, Beeb.
You do?
I do.
You know, it's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with Gilberto, because Gilberto is, I like the versatility of Gilberto. He's a really good combination puncher, excellent jab, southpaw. Yeah. I think he's just got a little bit more tools in the toolbox than Billum Smith. I like Billum Smith, but he's more of an outboxer. I think Gilberto could do some damage and have some advantages and do some, you know, really, really get some stuff off on the inside. So I like Gilberto because of that. And I think
it's a big fight for him. This is a big fight for him.
I think he's going to go to the body a lot in this fight. I would not be surprised. This will probably go the distance, but I'm not going to rule out a late stoppage by Ramirez.
Okay.
I'm not going to rule out a late stoppage, but I do think Ramirez will win this fight. But again, it's a competitive fight. By you picking Billum Smith, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not impossible for him to win this fight either. This is
No.
you know, he beat Lawrence Okoli, and a lot of people didn't think that was going to happen. So this guy can, you know, he can surprise people. Definitely can surprise people.
Yeah. It's going to be a good fight, though. It'll be a good fight.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about the news and rumors here. As we said earlier, Naoya Inoue joins Riyadh season. The Japanese superstar has signed a sponsorship deal with Riyadh season that will pay him $20 million.
Wow.
But won't require him to fight in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
So they called him an ambassador, I guess,
Gotcha.
was the term
Gotcha.
for it. I don't really know
So
what he's doing, but he's got, I mean.
yeah, what I'm assuming is maybe he'll do some spots for them, you know, in Japan, do like some commercials for them in Japan or some promos for them in Japan. Maybe he'll put the Riyadh logos and stuff on his trunks and his robes.
I'm sure he will. Oh, I'm sure that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I mean, I'm sure that would help because he's really big in Japan. So if they can get some exposure,
1 million, man. Just
yeah,
for
they can,
wearing your stuff. Yeah, I'm
they
down.
can get some exposure. Like they know. Again, these Saudi people are very smart. Turki Al-Sheikh knows what he's doing. He knows that there's a huge market for boxing in Japan, particularly with Naoya Inoue. So
Yeah.
this seems like a pretty good move in my opinion. We'll see how it pans out, but I think it's going to be a good move.
Was he part of that live golf or live golf, the LIV that was competing with the PGA? I don't even know if that's still around or not.
So he's involved in the soccer. They're really making a splash, Saudi.
Well, they're the ones they picked up Ronaldo. They offered Messi the same amount, but he came here instead for less. I mean, a lot less.
I don't know why he did that, but
I'll tell you what. Yeah, and he got just
a beautiful country, so I know why he did that. But other than that, you know, money.
His team got booted out last night.
Pay me
Miami
enough,
lost to Atlanta.
Yeah, if you pay me enough, I go to the deepest depths of hell, man. I'm all about the cash.
I'm all about the cash too. I don't care. I mean, you put me wherever, I'm good.
People don't like when I say that, but
it is what it is.
Let's be honest with the public.
That's right. It is what it is. You think me and Beeb built this place because we know what's going on.
That's
I'll
right.
tell you that right now. Ryan Garcia. You always got to love when I start a sentence out with that.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia went to social media and said he's fighting in Dubai in January. Now, I don't think his suspension is up till April or something like that, or March.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in April, I think.
That's what I thought too.
April.
I mean, listen, he could fight in Dubai. There's nothing. They don't have to honor that suspension. He's only suspended in the U.S. They don't.
And he could. I heard he was talking about doing an exhibition. So I don't even know if it's a real fight.
Maybe that's it then. Maybe that's
maybe they'll allow him to do that. Sometimes though, when you fight in other countries and you don't really, I mean, you're honoring the suspension technically, but when you fight somewhere else while you're under suspension in the United States, they don't really take kindly to that. So
they could add on to it. Yeah, they could add on to it.
They could do anything. So who knows?
You know,
who knows
but depending on what the contract says, depending on what the suspension
if it's just an exhibition and
it says in the U.S. Well, if it says in the U.S. and it doesn't have anything there, then or if it says fighting period.
Well, technically, he's suspended by New York, but in America, the other commissions
follow it. Yeah, the other commissions
honor that.
Follow it. Yeah,
so we go to another country. That's it's up to them to do what they want to do. So,
yeah. And speaking of doping, Conor Benn, the doping suspension has been lifted by the UK.
Time.
Yeah, 2 years. It's been 2 years now.
Yeah, I don't think they treated him fairly throughout this whole ordeal. I mean, and I understand he didn't handle it great himself in the beginning.
Yeah,
but
no, he sure didn't.
But again, 2 years is a long time.
That's a long, yeah. I mean, for him to sit out on the sidelines and everything like that, I don't know, man. I don't know.
So I'm kind of happy that he got that squared away for him.
What's his next move?
I don't know. I have a feeling Chris. No, I have a feeling Chris Eubanks going to fight Canelo. I heard Eddie Reynoso.
I have that feeling. I know when Eddie Reynoso came out and said no way, and we're not even.
Yeah, because he was mad because he turned down the original deal. But I don't know, man. Maybe they go back to the table. Maybe Turki Al-Sheikh steps in. They go back to the table
to get that fight.
Turki
Al-Sheikh steps in to get that fight.
He'll probably do
all the fights he can make.
I know
that fight.
This guy, he'll do it.
Well, I wonder if he'll sign a contract.
This was the same guy that put together Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury, which is a fight that no one wanted either. So,
yeah, but it turned out a lot different.
Yeah.
That was they put together the Joshua fight as well, didn't they? The Joshua Ngannou fight. Yeah.
Yes, they did. So,
Papa Chubby says His Excellency is a legit boxing fan. No way he allows Ryan to fight. I don't know. We'll see. I would hope not. I would hope not, especially when he's trying to work with the U.S. and everything like that.
While he's under suspension. Yeah.
While he's under suspension. I think he might have a point there. I think maybe he does, but yeah, I think he would probably go along with, the suspension as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Absolutely.
We'll just have to see, man. We'll just have to see. So, you think Eubank and Canelo, that's next?
Yeah, I think they'll go back to the table with that.
Where else does he go from here? I mean, honestly, where else does Canelo go? He's not going to fight. He doesn't want to fight Crawford. He doesn't want to fight Benavidez.
Christian and Billy.
Stop it.
Yeah. And I'm going to say something crazy, man. Because Better Beef didn't knock out Bivol, that may incentivize Canelo to say to himself, you know what? This guy's a little bit older. Maybe I'll take a crack at him. Styles make fights. Maybe Canelo's style. I don't think Canelo wins.
I don't think Canelo. Listen, man. I'm hearing people on Twitter that Canelo does not bode well for him. That's a bad style.
I'm hearing a lot of people saying that they think Canelo could do well against Beterbiev after seeing Beterbiev versus Bivol. And
really?
Yeah, because again, he didn't.
He can't fight like he normally does. He's got to get on his bike. He's going to have to move.
Yeah.
And, number one, he's going to have to be perfect for a lot of that fight.
Yeah.
And he can take a shot. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, he's got good head movement, good upper body movement. Yeah.
He has to go back to that Canelo we saw in the Danny Jacobs fight. You remember the Canelo Danny Jacobs fight? And he just
really good head movement.
Well.
Good defense.
Great head movement, great defense.
Yeah.
That's what he's got to do in that fight.
So, I'm
guessing
they
put that fight together?
Do I think they would put that fight together?
The Better Beef Canelo fight.
Yeah, I think they would do it.
Because you think about that fight, right? I mean, like, can you imagine if Canelo actually pulls that off?
That would be incredible.
It's incredible, right? I mean,
That's
who
incredible.
Goes and wins those titles in the cruiserweight title? He's the best Mexican in history.
Oh, if he beats him, that's
He eclipsed Chavez. He eclipsed Sanchez.
He eclipsed Chavez.
He eclipsed Sanchez.
Undisputed in 2
eclipses Ricardo Lopez, who's my favorite fighter ever.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, Ricardo.
Yeah, unbelievable, right?
Absolutely. No joke.
Yeah, I that's it, man. Yeah, he's the best Mexican fighter ever. If not, best fighter. He could lay claim to the best fighter. Now, whether he is or not, I don't know. But he could absolutely, with the win against Beterbiev, and Beterbiev's older. But I don't know. He's still
getting older.
Really got something left. I mean,
I thought he won the fight.
I thought he won the. Yeah.
Thought it was close. I thought he eked it out, but
Yeah, I think what did I have that fight a draw? I can't even remember.
Oh, you had Bivol winning 115 and 113. You and Robbie had it for Bivol, but I had it 115, 113 the other way. So, but it was close enough.
Listen, man, I can make a case either way. You know what I mean? We can make a case either way. Fight Doctor says Beterbiev KOs Alvarez. He hates Alvarez. He hates Alvarez.
Alvarez, Triple G. He doesn't like.
He doesn't like them guys, does he?
I don't think he likes Joshua that much either.
Yeah, I like Joshua a lot. I think he's done a lot for the sport as far as.
I like Joshua. I don't have a problem with Joshua.
Yeah, I think he's great, man. I think for advertising and stuff, he's done a lot for the sport. Man.
He's been in some decent fights. I don't have a problem.
But I think his time is passing, though. I really.
Yeah,
do. I think he's a little long in the tooth now.
Yeah.
And I don't think Daniel Dubois is the next guy, though. I don't think he is the next guy.
Yeah. Jalilov could be the next guy, but he's just not active.
Where is this guy at?
That guy had a lot of problems coming out of the Olympics.
Where's this guy at, man? So he went back to the Olympics, right? Which, again, made no sense, all right, that he goes and gets another gold medal because the guy's already a pro. I hate that they let pros in the Olympics. Anyway.
I don't. That's why I don't like the Olympics, bro.
But, you know, here, this guy, man, he comes in, the heavyweight. He will be the next guy. I don't know why he's not getting fights. Who's in Top Rank is promoting him, right? I thought they were one of his promoters.
Sure. Not sure who I know they were involved in some of his fights. I don't know if they have an exclusive deal with him. I don't know. I'll have to do some research on that.
I don't understand what's going on with him, but he's wasting a lot of this.
Yes.
He's wasting a lot of his talent right now. And these are prime years for him to get those fights under his belt and get out there and, you know, start chipping away at that top 10, because he's definitely top 10 right now. I really believe that he's that good. But since Jared Big Baby Anderson is checked out, you know, Abdullah Mason's another one from Ohio. Did you realize that? Abdullah Mason too? Yeah. You got to throw punches and you got to keep protected. Some of these guys, man, like, yeah, and I tell you what, as much as Jared Anderson, I wonder how much he has left after that fight, because his confidence had to be completely shattered. And 90% of the fight is mental, because you're all at the same skill level. You're basically at the same level. You know what I mean?
That's going to be a long road back, man, because that was a bad loss.
It was a bad loss. That's right. MAW, thank you so much. Subscribe, share, smash the like button, guys. Come on, guys, man. We got a lot of people in here listening. Just hit the like button, like and subscribe to us, man. And that way we can, you know, when our shows are coming out and all that other good stuff. So for sure, man, for sure. Let's see here. What is it? Danny Drew says 28 Olympics in Los Angeles, boxing and weightlifting not on the schedule currently. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. They're working on it right now. I know they're working on it. Triple G is there. As one of the heads of one of the committees or whatever. There'll be enough of a push to get boxing back in.
I think they'll figure it out.
Not have boxing back in. That's like taking wrestling out or something like that.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
And weightlifting's another one that's been there forever. You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. You're really going to hold this up because of that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Some nonsense. Don't be stupid. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at JHabib1. Our YouTube channel is ringsidereporterlive.com, and you can find me on X at Ringside73. Guys, we will see you next week.